Auburn and Kentucky, they play in week 1 on the Plains. We're about to talk about it and break it down right now. These are, for my money, the 2 sleeper teams in the SEC, each division. These are the 2 teams that either people don't want to buy into, in the case of Kentucky, just because they don't feel like the roster is adequate to compete at the highest level, or in Auburn's case, maybe the roster is talented year in and year out, but in this particular year, you have so many question marks everywhere, you don't know what to expect. So they play each other naturally in week 1. Let's talk about this for a second. Easily, by 10 miles to me, the biggest key matchup here is Kentucky's offensive line. I think they have guys drawing retirement. They get AARP mail already. That's how experienced they are on the offensive line. And they're going to come in and they're going to face an Auburn team whose hallmark has been stellar defensive line play for the past several years. And they just lost a guy by the name of Derek Brown, and they just lost a guy by the name of Marlon Davidson. And there's a lot of think at Auburn. They think they have the guys necessary to plug and play here. They think that. I don't know that. They don't know that. It is probably one of the biggest tests that you could have to open. Because here's the thing. I know a lot of people, when you're trying to find an upset in week 1 or trying to find an upset period, you want to find that game no one's talking about. And everyone's talking about Kentucky. But Bud Elliott was in our Slack room today, and he was saying, am I the only one that hasn't picked Kentucky yet? It seems like everyone's picking Kentucky here. And so that turns some people off. Now, let's talk about the matchup here in and of itself. This offensive line matchup against Auburn's, thus far, I would say unproven at the highest level defensive line, stands to reason when it's week 1. You think, oh man, so many people have talked about this offensive line deal that, Auburn's going to know that's coming. Yeah, they do. They probably knew it was coming along before you ever thought about it. But here's the thing about being out physical at the line of scrimmage. Here's the thing about having a physical edge at the line of scrimmage. You can know it's coming 5 years ahead of time. 5 years you could recruit to stop it. So you can know it's coming 5 months ahead of time. It doesn't matter. If the edge is there, the edge is there. It's like if Colin were to walk in here, sledgehammer in hand. And he's crazy, he'll do it. If he were to walk in here, sledgehammer in hand, and I were just handcuffed here, I could know he's about to swing that thing and take my head off. This is violent. Put like a TV 14 rating on this preview. It wouldn't hurt any less. It wouldn't be any less effective. And so if Kentucky does possess the ability to lean on Auburn for 4 quarters and shorten this game and shave possessions down, doesn't matter if you, I, Kevin Steele, Gus Malzahn, anyone else knows it's coming. They're still going to be able to do it. So the big question is, will they be able to do it? If they are, and I think that's one of the concerns that Auburn has down there of how do they stand up physically, replacing some stalwarts, some annual stalwarts in the SEC. I'm really looking forward to that. Because 2 edges, if you really think about this, just say Auburn versus Kentucky at home. 2 edges that you would normally expect Auburn to have 99% of the time would be a huge home field advantage that's going to affect Kentucky, and you would expect them to have sizable advantages on the lines of scrimmage. And I don't know that they have either. In fact, I know they don't have a huge home field in this one. No one does. Guys, I don't know that they have that line of scrimmage edge either. If they do, it's pretty negligible to start the year. If they played 6 weeks from now, maybe it's different. The Auburn offense, what to expect? What to expect? Kind of rhetorical here because we're going to find out Saturday. But consider the offensive line on Auburn's side. They're replacing 500,000 guys. They, again, think. They think they have some adequate replacements here. It's been a weird year. No one's had access to practice. We don't really know. We hear whispers. Brodarius Ham is one of the best names in college football, gets his shot at tackle. They got a transfer in from Akron that they're going to be able to hopefully count on. Nick Brahms at center has got a lot of experience. So they hope that those guys are reliable. I think running backs, the run game period, but the running back position has to be the engine of this team early on. As much as you want to believe in Bo Nix returning and that natural year 1 to year 2 progression and that natural bringing in of Chad Morris, new passing concepts. Let me tell you what the passing game is going to be for Auburn. Passing game early in the season, probably not going to look a whole lot different. You go play action, you go run, deep shot. That's going to be early in the season, what their passing game is, but here's the difference. I think they will incorporate far more heavily running backs and H-backs and tight ends in this passing game. And so that, coupled with 4 guys that they really believe they can count on at running back, that has to be the engine in this game, and it has to be the engine early in the season, period. The surprise element here that I don't know that I've heard anyone talk about that I think could decide this game is Kentucky's passing game. You didn't say that last year. You definitely didn't say it with Terry Wilson there. In fact, all anyone knew was, hey, did you know Kentucky's got a wide receiver playing quarterback? Yeah, we know. Yeah, they know too. So Terry Wilson, he's back. Joey Gatewood's up there. We don't ever know if he's going to be cleared, but Terry Wilson, he's back. Let me tell you two facets of Auburn's defense that are relative unknowns right now: pass rush and depth at corner. Now, Auburn fans, if you're watching this, you feel pretty comfortable about that depth at corner. But behind Roger McCreary, lately there have been some names emerge there. I just want to caution you. These guys may pan out brilliantly. Names are not quality depth. Names are just that, names. And you never know if you got a bunch of average options that are battling it out, and those are the names you're hearing, or if you got a bunch of excellent options battling it out, and those are the names you hear. So right now what we know is Auburn's got a lot of names in that second corner spot. And it's a great story. I mean, Jalen Simpson is a guy who was not slated to take that number 2 corner spot at Auburn a month ago. Well, he's taken it, and that's wonderful. But when you lack potentially pass rush, you even give Kentucky time to throw the ball, and you may have questions about depth at corner. Could it be that as everyone's focused on that running game and everyone's focused on Kentucky shaving possessions and minutes off of that game, could it be that a couple of explosive plays through the air, of all things, are what tilts that game for Kentucky? So, wild card, just like I said in the Tennessee game, special teams. Auburn has a lot of inexperience, a lot of youth at new positions, and so they've been hit by the COVID bug. They had to cancel or delay practices for a little while. You never know how that affected special teams. Kentucky, on the other side, pretty veteran-laden. So you didn't hear nearly as many negative headlines in the COVID world out of Kentucky. So don't know. The hidden yardage game, don't know. Could be another slight unseen edge towards Kentucky. It sounds like I'm picking Kentucky by 3 touchdowns. Well, let's waste no more time. Let's take a look at this. Colin, we have the game capsule for this one. Vegas line, Auburn minus 7.5. I think there's probably no more important half a point in the world of betting in college football this week than that 7.5 versus 7. We are much tighter on this game. Our model likes Auburn to win, but it's narrow. I think it was 3.75, and I rounded it up to 4 just because it looks cool. So we've got Auburn winning by 4. I'm not going to second guess the model here. I feel in my heart of hearts that Auburn will find a way to win this game. I don't necessarily think that it will be an instant museum hangable classic. I think it'll probably be one that, if Kentucky wins, they'll love it. If Auburn wins this thing, there's still a chance they'll want to wad that thing up and throw it away in terms of aesthetics. But a win is a win is a win, especially this year. So we like Auburn to win, but we like Kentucky to cover. Love trying to thread that 7.5 point needle.